There's a little bit of a catch to that. This room really is bad for recording. It's hard for me to get this whole board, so I'm just gonna have to focus on like this area of the board. Just know that if the video doesn't come out great, I have like hundreds of videos on YouTube where you can go and watch something you missed, right? Okay, so if you've never been in this building or in this room before, it's okay, all right? Safety first, right? We have glass doors, so there's not a lot we can do if there's like active shooter or something like that, right? I mean, we'll keep them locked, I guess. We can keep them locked. That just means if you go to the restroom, when you leave, slide the block out, this little block, slide it out so the door stays open, and then when you come back, do that. That way it locks behind you, okay? And I'll leave it open right now because I know people are gonna be coming in, you know, trying to find the room. So we'll keep the doors locked, and then also these windows, if we absolutely had to get out these windows, we could. It's 2 stories, but it's trees and shrubs. It's not concrete down there, so you know that is a way out, so to speak, right? Fun stuff to start class with, right? Okay.
We don't have to go through the window.
What's that?
We don't have to jump through the window.
Yeah, I hope so too, but I mean, I also don't want us to not have thought that through, you know, like that is a way out. I mean, if you're on the 3rd floor, sometimes you don't even think to go, but sometimes out the window there's like an awning and, you know, so. Okay, hopefully everybody here can get to Canvas, yes? Yes, if you have any issues on how to get to this website for the class, let me know after class. I will talk to you about that, show you how to get there. I don't want to go through every little detail of this, all right? But I will point out the main points. On the very beginning, all of your homework assignments are going to be out of an electronic book. And has anyone accessed it yet? Nobody? Okay, no. You did by accident? Yeah. Okay. So you should be able to click there and get access to the electronic version of the book. I can't really show you what it's like for you to do that because I'm not a student. But if you have any hiccups with that, just let me know. Send me an email, say, hey, I can't get in. Nobody has told me it's not working yet, so it should. And so when I give you an assignment, you see the schedule I gave you? When it tells you to do homework problems, right? Like for example, the first set of homework is for today, 3.5. It says page 181, right? That would be if you had the physical textbook. But you're going to be doing the electronic book, so you're just going to go to 3.5 and go to the exercises at the end of the book. Should I show you? Would y'all like to see? I can show you. Let me get into this ebook. I'm not sure how it's going to work for me here. Should let me in. You should not have to pay for anything. You should not have to put a code in. It should just let you right in. There we go. So it's not going to look like this for you, all right? As a student, here's what it's going to look like. Should be something like this. And right down in the right-hand corner is a copy of the book. You click on the book. Same book as Cal 1. And then, like if we were going to do 3.5 homework, I'd go to chapter 3. And it will usually take you back to where you left off, but there's a little drop down right here where you can select the section. So I'd go to 3.5. And if you see 3.5, if you click here, that's the actual content, you know, the material of the section. And at the end of the section is the exercises. And then I'm asking you to do number 1, number 5, number 15, 16 through 28, 32, and 39, right? So you would just be doing number 1, number 5. Make sense? All right. And you do those on paper, pencil paper, right? These are not going to be submitted online. You're not going to do, no homework is done here. It's just using the book, old school pencil paper, right? Okay, so back to our home page. You have access to the book right there. Okay, the videos that I'm recording of class, if you click here, that'll be where those videos are. Right now, if you click there, it's just going to bring you to an empty playlist on YouTube. All right, so I will start uploading the videos after class. Give me a day. I mean, I should upload it right after class, but, well, no, sorry, I have Cal 3 after this class. That ends at 12:40, and then I go to my office. So it'll be in the afternoon. Now, see this right here? This is probably one of the most used links in my class. Y'all see what it says? Homework solution videos. So 90 to 95% of the problems that I ask you to do in this class, I have already done for you on video, me standing in front of a whiteboard working through the problems. All right, so you have a video archive of your homework, of the homework solutions, all right? The danger in this is that students can misuse this, all right? Instead of doing the homework, they just go watch my videos and they play it at like double speed and just watch me and they go, yep, I know how to do that, I could do that, and never do any homework. That will not work in this class, all right? So use it the right way. Try the homework problem, have the video there, cross-reference, work a little bit of the problem, look at the video, see if we're both doing the same thing, all right? Questions there? The schedule, I just gave you the schedule. There's a couple of copies over there at the corner if anyone needs one. And then files. So files, if you click on files, this is where, well, the schedule I just gave you is here. The course notes. So I'm going to be working through some lecture notes in class. I'll be projecting them. And the notes that I'm projecting on the board are going to be contained in there. So if you want access to these notes that I'm going to be working through, then they are right there in the course files, course notes, all right? You can print them out if you want. It would be a lot to print, but you can print them. You can just look at them electronically, which means if you have a tablet or a laptop, I'm okay with you having that open during class if you want to watch the notes. But if you're out there browsing the web, doing other things, you're out of here. I'll show you the consequences. I had a student last semester. She was trying to hide from me the whole time that she was doing something else. She wound up not doing well in the class. I don't even want to mess with that. You should have your laptop for notes. Don't be doing other work, and we'll be fine. Yes? Okay? All right, formula sheets. Okay, so these formula sheets, these are the formula sheets that you are allowed to bring to the exams. And there's a few of them, right? There's a few of these. You need to print these out. Now, I've done you the favor of printing out the first one for you. This right here, this is 6 pages of formulas from the textbook. If you were in my Cal 1 class, it's the same set of formulas. Unfortunately, the copier did not have staples, and so it printed this. It's 3 pages front and back. They're here. I'm going to pass them around carefully because these are separated. Can y'all tell these are separated? Take the 3 off and pass it on to the next person, and then you'll have to staple them yourself, all right? And there's going to be a lot of extras because I'm going to give those to my Cal 3 class as well. The rest of them, you print yourself, and you can have those for the exams, all right? Any questions on that?
Can we write down like little personal notes on the pages?
Do not edit the notes or the formula sheets. Do not edit them in any way. So don't add anything to them unless I tell you. If I tell the class, hey, there's this one formula I want you to have on here, you can have that. But that's it. And that's just so we all have the same level playing field when it comes to a test, all right? All right, back to the home page. All right, so like I said, most of the stuff you need is right here on the front page. Now, there's old videos, like I said. If for some reason my camera doesn't work, I forget to bring it, I just say, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore. I have a bunch of old videos you can watch of me doing the same lectures over the same notes, over the same concepts, okay? And you can go and watch those. So if you miss class and I didn't do a video for the day, then I could tell you, hey, just go look at this one, all right? All right, let's look at the syllabus. I hate eating so much time doing this stuff, but we are going to go through the main points of the class. So the syllabus is a contract, right? I am not supposed to deviate from what I say here, and you are supposed to know what my expectations are, right? So there's a lot of little stuff in here that I don't want to get into. You know, this is a full semester course, 16 weeks, right? We meet Monday, Wednesday, 9 to 10:40. My office location is not in this building. It's in Juniper Hall. It's in room 111A. I was thinking maybe after class I could walk by there and show y'all where it is. If anyone doesn't know, you can follow me over there because I'm going to Juniper Hall after this. So if anyone's not sure where Juniper Hall 111A is, just follow me after class. My office hours are a little weird this semester, and these might change. If I get a large group of students that come to me and say, hey, it'd be really nice if you were in your office a little bit later in the day, I might change these. But right now, my office hours start at 7:45 a.m. So before our class, I'm in my office for an hour, 15 minutes. Well, more like an hour because I have to walk over here, right? So I'll be Monday through Thursday in my office from 7:45 to 9. And then pretty much I teach from 9 to 12:40 every day. And then after that, I'll be in my office. So today, after my Cal 3 class, I'll go to my office, I'll eat a little lunch, and then I'll be in there for an hour from 1 to 2. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, I'll be there from 12:30 to 2. Make sense? All right. So just by looking at that, show of hands, how many of you see those times and you can tell right now you would have the option to come see me during those times? How many of you would be free during those times? Okay, that's a pretty big chunk, but I know there's already some people saying no, so we'll see how it works out. This is only one class, all right? I'm teaching 4 classes, Cal 2, then Cal 3, and then Tuesday, Thursday, I'm doing 14, 14, 13, 14. So it's gonna be a weird semester for me. Yeah, got it? Those are my office hours. Now, the preferred communication, I prefer you communicate through email, through Canvas email, if it's something important like, I'm gonna miss the test, I got sick today, right? Send me an email. Now, if you need some help on math or you wanna, I don't know, you have my cell phone number, text me or call me. Now, if you text me, just make sure that you put in who you are, what class you're in, and then if you're asking me a question about a problem, take a picture of the problem and send that to me. And then if you've done any work, take a picture of your work and send that to me. That way, if I'm sitting there at HEB and you're like, hey, this is so-and-so from Cal 2, if you just say I need help on number 4, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? I don't know what number 4 is. So if you send me a picture, I can stop and I can help you right there, right? So help me help you by sending me that information. And I mean, I'm giving you my cell phone number, right? So that means it's okay for you to use that. And if it starts to become a problem, I'll let you know. Like I've had students that'll send me like 13 texts in a row. So they're like texting their ideas as they roll off their head. I don't want that. Well thought out, try and send me one text, send it all at one time, right? And if I don't respond, right away, then I'm probably busy, and I'll get back to you. Questions on that? All right, I already said this is just contact information for the math department if you want to go over there and complain about me or something, or go, I don't know, whatever you want to do in the math department, go over there. There it is. Okay, materials, I told you don't need anything for this class other than a scientific calculator. And there are restrictions on calculators in this class. There are certain calculators you cannot use on exams and on quizzes. And that is anything that has a computer algebra system on it. And examples of that are the TI-89, which I have, and the TI-Nspire. The TI-Nspire, there's 2 versions. There's a CX version and there's a CAS version. It'll say it on the top right corner. You may not use the CAS version. So if you have one of these TI-89, Nspire, these aren't the only 2, there's others. If you have those and you're like, shit, I can't use that on my test, I can get you a graphing calculator for the semester that can be a loaner for you to make sure that you have something to use. I don't want you to have to go buy another one. Understand? But you need to get with me about that. Examples of things you can use, TI-84, okay? TI-86, I don't even know if they make the 86. TI-84 plus is okay, all right? If you have any questions about that, just get with me. All right, this is Cal 2. So this is just a description. The state of Texas says what Cal 2 is. There's the description, the learning outcomes, the things that we plan on getting through in here. And then the grading scale. Standard grading scale, A, B, C, D, F are the only options. I do round up, right? 89.5, that would be an A, right? There's no difference between 89.5 and 100 in this class. Those are on paper the same grade, A, right? All right, now how do I evaluate here? how's your grade determined? 15% is quizzes and participation. So I'll give quizzes. I'll talk more about quizzes in a second. Participation, I don't know, I might just take an attendance grade, just depends. All of that together, 15%. I'll just average up all those scores. And then the rest of it is just assessment. It's just tests, all right? So those homework problems that are on that list, right? You get no credit for this, right? I was talking to my daughter who just started high school. I was talking to her because her school is like trying to prepare her for college. So she's on a schedule like we are. Monday, Wednesday, they have certain classes. Tuesday, Thursday, they have other classes. And I was explaining to her that I'm going to go in this morning and tell my students that they're supposed to do homework and they're not going to get any credit for it, right? And that kind of boggled her mind. I was like, yes, in college, you were told you should do this and you should do it for your own benefit, but you're not going to get anything out of it other than you're going to learn. Understand? So that didn't sit well with her, right? I said, but you have to be disciplined as a student. You have to sit down and do the work. And in Cal 2, okay, I don't care if you were an A student in Cal 1, right? Cal 2 is going to test you. It is going to see what you know and what you don't know. It's going to push you to the limit, all right? So I have not had any students come in here that had not taken Cal 2 before. Anyone who's ever come and seen Cal 2 for the first time, I've never had a student succeed without doing the homework. Never. All right? So you must do the homework. I've provided you the resources to help you on that homework, and so you need to do it, all right? Now, I might give you a quiz grade on your homework. So I might come in and be like, I don't think people are doing their homework. Let me see your homework. Let me see your homework. I'm going to take quiz grade on last class's homework, right? And if you don't have it, then you get a 0, all right? So do it. Attendance, be here. You miss 4 classes. I think you're allowed to have 4 absences, right? You miss 4 classes, then your grade becomes my decision. I can drop you from the class or I can actually fail you in the class. So those 4 absences are like, you're sick, death in the family. Like that accounts for all that, right? So just be here. I'll try and take attendance. There's a little sign-in sheet on here, but those of you who've had me before know that I just forget about this and stop doing it. But I'll try to. We'll start today just to make sure you're on the roster. You'll see your name, you'll see today's date, and just a real small box initial in there, please. Okay, exam policies. Exams will be taken in class. Good old-fashioned paper pencil tests, right? Any academic integrity issues will be dealt with very swiftly, and I don't tolerate any sort of cheating at all, okay? I know students, sometimes they put so much pressure on themselves, they panic during a test and they want to break their cell phone out and start doing things or looking at their neighbors. I don't have any tolerance for that. So it will probably be more severe than you think. It won't be like, okay, you're going to go retake the test. It'll probably be F in the class, report it to the college, that sort of thing, all right? It's a big deal in a Cal 2 class for me. If it's like 13, 14, your first semester in college, like maybe we learn a lesson and continue on somehow. But here, it's not going to happen. All right, quizzes can come in many forms. I might ask you to, everyone take out a piece of paper, let's do a problem. I might say work in groups, do a problem. I might say take this problem home, do it, bring it back. It can be anything I really can imagine, right? Attendance, let's take a quiz grade on attendance, right? So just be prepared. My expectation is that whatever we do today, whatever homework assignment I give you tonight, you should have done it, come back next class, and understood it, right? If you didn't understand something, you should reach out to me or tutoring or whatever and get help, right? So I know a lot of you are trying to balance life, right? This is not the type of class where you can come to class Monday and Wednesday and then do all your homework on Sunday. It's not going to be easy for you to succeed that way. You've got to be able to do Monday's homework between Monday and Wednesday. And then Wednesday's homework you can do over the weekend. But you've got to keep up with this class. What makes this class hard is, well, there's a lot of things that make this class hard. The material is difficult, number 1. Number 2, there's a lot of it, all right? So it's a marathon, but we're sprinting most of the way, all right? So you've got to keep up with the material. It builds on itself. All right, behavior policy, unauthorized use of cell phones during class or being disruptive during class will result in me asking you to leave. You'll be counted absent for the day, and you'll get a 10% penalty on your next test. That's pretty severe, isn't it? Pretty severe. But I don't do cell phones in like that. I walk by classrooms and I see students in there on their phones, and I just don't understand how their professors can be okay with that. I'm not okay with it. You're here to learn. If you have something you have to do on your phone, just take it outside. I'm okay with that. Leave the classroom, go sit out there, do what you need to do, come back. I just don't want it happening in class. And I also don't want you leaving 10 times to go do that, right? In that case, just don't be here. Questions on that? And don't try and hide it from me. I can see when you're, I can see that, all right? That kind of just upsets me more that you're trying to hide it from me. All right, homework. So this is what I was saying earlier. Like, your homework is for you, right, to learn. I expect you to do all the homework. I expect you to complete it before we come back. I also expect for you to bring all of your work with you every time you come to class. That way, if I say, hey, I'm going to do a quiz over what you did, let me see your homework from last week. If you don't have it with you, then it's a 0. So I'm telling you to bring it, all right? I may also give you a quiz where I allow you to use your homework. And if you don't have it with you, that hurts you, right? So just bring your materials to class. I already said here, most of the homework has solutions. Don't just watch my videos, do the work. All right, I had to add this in here a semester ago, pencils and pens. You are to use a pencil in here only, unless you plan on being flawless, right? I know some of you are like, you have your favorite pen. You love this pen. If it's erasable, that's one thing, but I just don't want to see like chicken scratch everywhere, right? When you take a test or a quiz, I just don't want to see a bunch of stuff and you scribbled it out. So use pencil so you can erase and turn in nice, neat work. It's important for you to be able to communicate your ideas to me, right? This is brand new. The entire college, they had to come up with a district policy, right? A district policy for artificial intelligence. So in this class, I'm not going to see that this is going to be much of an issue because all your assessments are going to be pretty much paper and pencil in front of me, right? But if for some reason I send a quiz home with you and you come back and you turn in your work and I can tell that's Symbolab, not you, and it's very easy to see human work versus computer work, right? Then I'm gonna say something to you, right? So be careful in the other classes with this thing because they're really starting to like freak out about this. All right, tutoring. Cal 2, you should be able to get tutoring in the tutoring lab in Cal 2, but it'll only be specific tutors. So you'll have to go to the tutoring lab, figure out who's good with Cal 2, and then try and meet them. Free tutoring. So just go here to see when the tutoring labs are open and when they close and what days are open. And then the rest of this is just college stuff that I don't even put in here. It's just automatically in there. And then these are the sections we're going to cover, the dates. That's the schedule that I handed you, just like slapped into the syllabus. All right, that's the syllabus. Any questions, comments, concerns, gripes? This is your opportunity. So I'm going to assume that if you come back to class on Wednesday, that you agree to this, right? That you agree to these policies, that you understand these. If you have any questions, I'm giving you the opportunity either now or beginning of next class, you can let me know. Y'all look thrilled. Are y'all all right? All right. Y'all just ready to do some math, right? You're just like, let's do math. All right, I'm done, I think, with the administrative stuff. We are going to get right into notes. So there will be some overlap here from Cal 1 into Cal 2. There's going to be some overlap. For some of you, the overlap's going to be like 2 weeks. For some of you, it's going to be like there is no overlap, like this is all brand new to you. So it's just going to depend on where you came from, what your background was. I'm really big on you asking questions during class. I ask a lot of open questions like, do y'all understand that? Right? And I do want responses, but what I don't want is the same person responding over and over and over and over talking everybody else. So if it gets to a point where I'm asking, like, hey, what do y'all think about this? And it's the same person who just keeps on responding, I might have a conversation with you, that person, about allowing your classmates to also have an opportunity to have some time to process and think, right? I want this to be a good experience for everybody, and I don't want one person like dominating the whole thing, right? Understood? So it's nothing personal. I'm trying to think of the group as a whole. Formed study groups. I know a lot of you know each other, like have seen each other. Formed study groups. My most successful students in Cal 2 are the ones that get together after class, get together on the weekends, form groups, study, help each other out, all right? All right, well, we're going to start in 3.5. We're going to talk about, well, do we want to talk briefly? I'm going to take this off of here, I think. I don't know what I'm going to do. Most of the time I don't want to have this on up here. I just want to have it over there. So let's try that for now. Let's see if that works. And if I need to make this bigger for anyone over here, if I need to make that bigger for you, let me know, all right? So I'm going to, let me see, I have to do this in the right order. Would you all like to talk about Cal 2, like what it's about, or get right in? What do y'all want? Do y'all want to have like a preview of where we're headed, or little preview?
Yeah,
Okay. So Cal, well, what's Cal 1 about? Right? Maybe we should start there. What was, if you were to take the big concepts from Cal 1, what was the big takeaway from Cal 1? So differentiation, right? So Cal 1, I like how they gave me a bunch of dead markers to start the semester. Let's see if any of these are good. Completely dead. All right. I brought my own, but it looked all like they were doing that for me to set me up for success. What was the very beginning of Cal 1 about? I mean, like, what's the heart of calculus? My Cal 1 students, remember the heart? Limit, right? The limit. The limit is where everything comes from the limit. So limits. So you start with limits in Cal 1, right? You do limits. Then where do you go from there? The derivative, right? Differentiation. So derivative. And when you first do the derivative, you have to do the limit definition, right? Limit h goes 0, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. And it's kind of tedious and cumbersome. And then after a while, you suffer, and then they finally give you the rules, right? So you have all the rules. So from this, you get the rules. The rules are power rule, product rule, quotient rule, and the very constant multiple rule. There's a bunch of them, right? The big ones, product, quotient, chain. Chain is the huge one, right? Chain is the big one. And usually, if chain rule was a problem for you in Cal 1, Cal 2 is going to be a nightmare for you because we're going to be trying to undo the chain rule, all right? So you might want to go back and review if you're a little foggy with the chain rule or any of these differentiation rules, go back and do some of the problems there, right? And I can tell you where in the book to do them, just talk to me after class. All right, derivative, what were some of the things you really didn't like in Cal 1? Related rates, remember those, right? Balloon, growing. Okay, those are like word problems. They suck. Okay, related rates. What else was in here that was not too fun? Optimization. And that wasn't fun also because that was word problems as well, right? Optimization, word problems, right? We don't have a ton of word problems in Cal 2. There's not a whole bunch of them, right? So we're not going to have something like those two sections in terms of word problems. But as far as difficulty, we're going to be doing things that are as difficult, I think. Okay, so that was it. How about graphically speaking, what we did in Cal 1 was, like the main concept was that if you took a function you should be able to go to any point on this function, let's call that x, and go there and find the slope of that line, right? The slope of that line would be the derivative of that function at x, right? That was the main kind of like geometric idea of Cal 1. Give me any function, I should be able to figure out the slope of the tangent line at any point. If I want to find the maximums and minimums, then I try and look and see where this slope might be 0 or undefined or something like that, right? This all look familiar? All right, so what is Cal 2 about? So Cal 2 is basically 3 parts, all right? So there's 3 parts in Cal 2. All right, the first part of this is antiderivatives. Antiderivatives. My handwriting, I do capital for everything, and it takes a little while to get used to. That's just the way I write. So that says antiderivative, right? We do antiderivatives or what's called integration. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do all these rules of derivatives, but backwards. So we're going to spend the first third of the class just learning how to do antiderivatives. And then the second part is applications. Applications such as if you are given a function, we'll want to find the area under that. Now I know in Cal 1 a lot of you did that already, right? You find the area underneath the curve. But in Cal 2 we're going to go beyond that. All right? We're going to go beyond that. We're going to do things like imagine taking that and wrapping it around the x-axis. Can you all see that visually? If you take this and wrap it around the x-axis, what would you get? Some sort of solid shape, right? And we would be interested in wanting to know what the volume of that is, all right? That's called solids of revolution. And there's a bunch of other things we'll do, all right? But it's applications of these antiderivatives. And then the last third of the course is series. And so in my experience, a lot of times students struggle here. If you're a visual learner, you do better here because it's very visual. And then when you get to this, it's just usually brand new for everyone. And it's something they haven't seen before, and it's a little bit bumpy, right? Most students don't enjoy Chapter 8. It's really cool stuff, but it's interesting, but when you actually have to do it, it's hard. So that's it. I mean, I know that's not like a perfect picture of what Cal 2 is, but it's 3 basic sections, 3 basic ideas, all right? So as we move on, we're gonna go into these in more detail, obviously. This will be our first task, but before we do this, we've got a couple little ancillary things we got to wrap up from Cal 1. And that's what our first section here is. We want to make sure that everybody here is familiar with the inverse trigonometric functions from pre-cal, and most importantly, what their derivatives are, all right? So let's get started. Does anyone